Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young in this final week of winter. I love it. The weather is really nice out. A little overcast today, but it is good, greatly mild. The snow is all gone, and I'm loving that. And we have spring coming up in a few days, but we have a really awesome guest here tonight heating things up before we even get there. But before we get to her, got to read these awesome underwriters, and then we will proceed per usual. So, we got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, number one in the dealer ratings for Massachusetts in 2021 out of 4,500. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. We got Brighter Days Hair Salon in Taunton. We got Eli's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Caribbean Breeze Tanning Salon in Norton. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Carver Jewelers, Ronald R. and Lyle Delano Goldsmiths in Carver. We got the Cornerstone Barber Shop in Pembroke. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton, always in search of new service techs and writers. We got First Response Computer Service in Attleboro, they're in Newark. We got Big Al's Auto Repair in Taunton, they're in Newark. Big Al's Auto Repair in Taunton, Newark. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We got Eastern Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Sell in Brockton. We got the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights for customers and friends. And we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you guys very much. And now on that note, I'll officially introduce this young lady, Juri Love. She's done a lot of things. She's an actress. She's a model. She's a musician. She's an award-winning author, I believe, or she's won awards for stuff. We actually had it scheduled last year, but due to circumstances beyond our control, it never happened. But here she is, having done more stuff since then. I always say everything happens for a reason. So, Juri, thank you for finally making it down here, and I'm happy that we're doing the show today.
Thank you, Harrison, for having me.
Okay, I know you wanted to do the show. And we're gonna cover a lot of stuff. We're gonna look at a little demo reel of yours about halfway through. I guess that's acting, right?
Yes.
Okay, but let's talk about you now specifically. Let's break down a lot of the things that you've done. You've got a lot of categories to fall into that we're gonna discuss. So first of all, let's talk about your childhood. Where did you grow up? I believe it's somewhere in Japan, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So I grew up in a town called prefecture called Yamanashi, Japan.
Okay.
It's near Mount Fuji.
Cool. That's a mountain I've never visited, but I would like to. I'd love to. Someday I will. Okay, what was life like growing up there for you?
Well, it was a lot of culture, a lot of rural Japanese traditional events and culture, but a lot of nature around it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It wasn't like a big city like Tokyo.
It was only 4,000 people in the town.
That's great. I love a town like that. Okay, and you were there until you were how old? Before that, what did you do as a kid? I mean, what did you do as a child that got you where you're at now? Did you perform yourself? You look like you're very festive, sort of. I can see you doing a Shinto performance, or maybe a performance of the Mikado somewhere. You definitely have that performer's look. So tell me about that, if that applies to what you did as a kid. If not, then we'll just move on and take it. See, we'll move a little further into the current times, and we'll talk about what you've done more recently.
Yeah, so I was doing piano lesson when I was like kid, and avocast lesson.
Okay.
Soroban, and then my mom had a rock cafe, and then so I was in her band, playing keyboard when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So I was a rock.
You were a rock star at 4.
Yes.
A little kid, a little rock star.
Yes.
Cool.
And but mainly I was taking piano lesson, and I liked running, and then also I was in volleyball club and then track team, so I was very athletic.
Okay.
And but my parents got divorced when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And then a lot of things happened afterwards.
Yep.
So I'm actually a survivor of child sex abuse and domestic
so bad.
violence.
Yep.
So I escaped from my dad when I was 13.
Wow.
And I moved to live with my mom, and then
is this still in
Japan?
Japan?
Yes,
okay.
still in Japan. Still in Japan. So I had a very, very tough childhood.
Yeah.
Growing up. So.
Yeah, I understand. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, how did you end up in the U.S.?
So first time I came to America was through the youth program endorsed by Japanese government in the city. And then I was basically greeted by...
How old were you?
I was 17.
Okay.
And I was greeted by Japanese crown prince and crown princess.
Okay.
Now they are emperor and empress.
Okay.
And I was in training, and I came to Washington State for 2 weeks first.
Okay.
Then I went back to Japan, and then I came back to America as an exchange student in Washington State. So I stayed there for 6 months.
Okay, were you a college student in Washington State? Did you go to college there in
No,
Washington?
a high school exchange
Oh, you went to high
student.
school there? Okay, and all right, so this was the Pacific Northwest, obviously.
Yeah.
But now you're here in the Northeast, so how did that come to be?
So after I went through all this childhood and then difficulties and adversity,
Yep.
I was actually homeless after I came back from exchange program.
Wow.
So then I worked really hard at age 19, 20, 21.
Wow.
And
Did you come over to the U.S. by yourself when you
Yes.
came? Wow, no wonder.
so
Okay.
I saved about $30,000 by myself, but I was paying rent and then living in Tokyo by myself.
Okay.
And I got a scholarship and I came to Berklee College of Music in 1998.
Oh, okay. So, but you said you were homeless. How did you end up? How did you end up fixing that?
So when I became homeless, I just kind of wander around. So it's in my book, A Gift from
Oh, you wrote a book,
Adversity.
right? You get your book today.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want me to introduce my book,
We'll
I
talk
can.
about that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
then the story is basically I was just roaming around trying to figure out where to stay, but then I saw the advertisement of this resort hotel
Okay.
where you can stay and work near Mount Fuji. It's a
Okay.
beautiful place. So I actually went there so that I had a roof above me and I was able to work. So this was when I was 18, 19.
Okay. Is that in Washington State?
This was in Tokyo. It was in Japan.
Oh, you went back to Japan.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's right. All right. So you were back there. So what happened after that? How did you end? You ended up back here though.
So I got a, like I
Oh, you
said, I got a scholarship.
to Berkeley.
Yeah.
So basically, your piano lessons at 4 it got you into Berkeley at 21.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. I always say everything happens for a reason, and everything is sort of interconnected.
Yes.
So that makes perfect sense. All right. Well, so you went to Berkeley. When you were going to Berkeley, were you living in Boston on campus? Did you have an apartment off campus?
Off campus.
Okay. So you worked. Did you work as well as go to school?
So as an international student, you're
Yeah.
not allowed to work off the campus, so only work study inside the campus. So I was actually stage crew.
Okay.
So it was very fun to work on the stage and then do lighting and sound.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So and how long were you at Berkeley for? How many years?
So I did my associate degree in until 2001. So I graduated in 2001. But later on, I finished my bachelor's in 2010.
Okay.
I worked and then came back and I finished my bachelor's later.
Okay, because that's a 9-year gap.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. So and then what did you do after that? You've done so many things. Let's talk. Let's see if we can cover everything you've done. You
Yeah.
got into acting. You wrote the book. Obviously, I guess it's autobiographical.
Yes.
Pretty much. So what did you do all those things? And so just enlighten me. Just go slow and let me know how that came to be. All those things.
Sure. So after I graduated from Berklee College of Music,
Yep.
I started a nonprofit called Genuine Voices.
Okay.
And then we were teaching music to juvenile offenders.
Okay.
I started originally a music program at the Boys and Girls Club in Dorchester, which actually the program is still running
Yep.
like 20 years ago.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, they actually got...
You started it yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was a president and founder for the nonprofit for 12 years.
Okay.
But along the way, I actually went on tour with Kate Pearson from the B-52s, Graham Parker, Bill Janovitz.
Oh my goodness, Kate Pearson, sure. Do you still see her at all?
Yeah, I was texting her the other day.
Can we get her on the show? Okay.
So I was playing keyboard and then melodica, and I was singing, and
Okay.
I was just touring. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And it was called Lost Song. It was a tour for Lost Song of Lennon and McCartney.
Okay.
So all the songs Paul McCartney and John Lennon wrote basically was not on the Beatles album.
Okay.
But they were singer-songwriter for other artists, and then so this is an album called Lost Song of Lennon and McCartney.
Wow. Okay. And when did you worked with her on this album? You said, right?
I was on tour. I didn't record, but I was
okay.
promotion tour.
I understand. Wow. Okay. So, and when you went on tour, where did you go? What cities did you visit to perform?
We started out from Boston, House of Blues, and then went to New York, and then Maryland, and then we went all the way to Tennessee, Georgia, I think, and then we went up to like Midwest, Ohio, Detroit, that area, and then we came back to Boston, and then we flew to California.
Okay.
And then we played in LA, and then Petaluma, San Diego. So 3 or 4 cities in California.
So pretty much all over the country.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, national tour.
Okay. All right. So then, how did you get? Now you started. Then you did some modeling and acting too. How did that come to be?
So when I was 17, 18, I started to do fashion model for
Okay.
magazines in Tokyo.
Okay.
So I was doing a lot of hair, before, after, or like bags or clothes, for fashion magazine.
Okay.
So I've done that before I came to America.
Yep.
So then after I graduated from Berkeley College of Music and then doing the nonprofit, I was doing some fashion shows and different things.
Okay.
And then my friend referred me to my agency, Model Club.
Okay.
So then ever since I've been working with the Model Club, but now I'm working with a lot of different casting companies as well. So it's been all my life.
Okay. Wow. So that got you into acting too, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about some of the acting you've done. What was that? How did that get? What was that all about?
So modeling, acting is kind of
They go together, I know.
Go together.
Yep.
So along the way, I've done Google, I've done Apple, major companies, Citizens Bank. So
Oh, you're talking about commercials?
yeah, commercials, but at the same time, some of the I did Microsoft internal training video,
Okay.
acting. But anyways, my recent accomplishment is Don't Look Up, which is nominated for 4 Oscars coming up.
Cool.
So I was directed by Adam McKay, Oscar-winning director-writer.
Wow.
And then with a lot of stars like Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep,
Okay.
Ariana Grande, Kate Blanchett.
They were all in this stuff. Wow, you were working with all of them?
Yeah, Don't Look Up has all these stars.
Okay.
And then my son was also in Don't Look Up.
What
My
was
son
that?
was in it too.
You what?
My son,
What about him?
he was in the movie with me.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But
Wow.
a completely different character.
I understand. Okay. Now, what was the movie again?
Don't Look Up.
Oh, Don't Look Up. Okay, that's a big one. And you were wow. And okay, how long ago did you do this?
So it came out last year, December,
Okay,
so 2021.
21?
But my scene was shot in 2020 November, and
Okay.
my son was January 2021.
Okay.
But because we didn't have the COVID vaccination
Right.
plan, so he had to sequester 8 days in hotel and not allowed to go out anywhere. And then my scene was outdoor, so I didn't have to sequester, but I had to sequester with my son.
Right. Okay.
But he had a big scene with Mark Rylance, Sir Mark Rylance, so it was amazing. So that got me a SAG card. So I got to do maybe 12 different productions
Wow.
last year, including Shang-Chi, the Marvel Studio movie, The Legend of Ten Rings. I was a photo double for Michelle Yeoh, so I was at the Paramount Studio in Hollywood.
Wow.
So
you actually shot some of the scenes out there?
one more
You went out to
time.
Hollywood to work
Yeah,
too?
and
Wow.
that- for Marvel Studios.
Okay.
For photo double for Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, I understand. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great though. Wow.
Yep.
So you got some Hollywood experience too.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. My
Yeah.
lunch was filet mignon, lobster tail, and then creme brulee with flowers. I'm like, are they eating like this every day? It was crazy.
Okay. All right. So is your acting role in that Don't Look Up all set? You're all done with that now, right?
Yeah.
When is now? Did the film come out already, or is it still?
Yes,
It did.
yes,
Okay.
December.
Yeah. I have to admit, I'm a little behind the times with films. But guess what? We're about halfway through the show. We're going to watch a little demo reel of Juri Loves, and when we come back, we'll talk about that and other things as well. So, watch it. We'll be right back.
More women into the company. すべてのコミュニケーションや会話、ソーシャルメディア、そしてシェアードファイルなど一つの場所にうまくオーガナイズされていたらとても分かりやすいと思います。
Oh, that was great. Tell me what we just watched.
Yes, so those are my demo reels. It doesn't have the Don't Look Up, but all the work that I've
Okay.
done before.
All right. And what other work? All right. Let's talk about the work on those demo reels that we just watched. You tell me what they were and how did you get them? Those roles.
It's different opportunities, and then it was just put together different
Okay.
types of things. So.
Were these like indie films?
No,
Or commercials or-
commercials,
Okay.
and then actually some of the music videos and I think it was a cooking show, and then Microsoft internal videos and different companies.
Okay, so all right, and instructional videos too. Anything it was instructional stuff for these companies, right?
Some of them, yes,
Yeah,
but
okay.
some of them are just music videos.
So you had a potpourri of stuff. That's great. Okay. So what are you working on currently? Is there anything you can talk about? Whether it's all right, let's talk about your book. Let's talk about that. You wrote a book.
Yes, I have
Pick
it
it
right
up.
here.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, so it's called A Gift from Adversity.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right, A Gift from Adversity. It's a very nice picture of you. It's hard to believe, you've been through so much.
Yeah, so the subtitle is Overcoming Sexual Abuse, Domestic
I
Violence,
know, I saw
Bullying,
that.
and Homelessness.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow. So
this
it's
is
kind of
my
like
book.
it's like a how-to book on how to deal with that. You help people. You're telling people from your own experience how they can deal with it if they have it as well.
Right. So
Okay.
I just want to share an epigraph.
Sure, go ahead.
So it's called, this is just my original epigraph.
Okay.
The sooner you can find the courage to accept your adversity, the sooner you can pave a positive path in your precious life.
There you go. That says it all. Wow.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's got 7 chapters.
Okay.
Actually, 7 chapters, prologue and epilogue. So it starts with Dead Sea in Israel.
Okay.
When I was floating in the Dead Sea.
Floating in the Dead Sea?
Yes.
In Israel?
Yes.
What does that mean? You were floating in the Dead Sea? You were really floating in the Dead Sea?
Yes, I was floating in the Dead Sea.
Well, why? I mean, were you trying to swim? Were you drowning or what?
Well, Dead Sea, you cannot swim. It's so much salt, so you have to float. You cannot
Okay,
swim
you're talking
Dead
about
Sea.
really doing this. You're not. This isn't a proverbial thing. This is the real.
No, I was in
You were there.
Israel.
Okay.
Yeah?
Wow.
So it started with the Dead Sea when I was floating, and then felt like it's like rock bottom in my life.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
So and it's Dead Sea is actually lowest point of the earth.
Yeah, I understand.
So then it jumps to chapter 1, which is the point when I got this award from Boston Celtics, which I brought the trophy. It's called Heroes Among Us.
Okay. How did you win this? What was this through?
Yeah, this is from Boston Celtics. I won an award.
The Celtics. There you
Yes.
go. Okay.
And I was in the middle of the center of the court, and there was 17,000 people, standing ovation.
Wow.
And so that's the chapter 1. I received it because of the nonprofit work that I've done.
Wow,
to
that's
help
awesome.
people.
Okay.
And then,
Can you tell me when you received it? How many years ago?
well, I think
Is
it's
it on here?
2013.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
2013,
Great.
November 15th.
It's very pretty. Okay.
Yes. Anyways, so then it goes back to process, which is my childhood
Yep.
and abuse,
Yep.
and then my suicidal attempt at age 15, and then chapter 3 is from homelessness to Berklee College of Music, which I kind of touched on that.
Okay.
How I became homeless and then how I came to Berklee. And then the chapter 4 is Founding Genuine Voices, which is the award that I received, the nonprofit.
Okay.
Which it was, we were basically teaching music to juvenile offenders,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
core, like hardcore gang members, Blood and Crips.
Wow.
So we were like in really the middle of this hardcore populations and changing lives one at a time. So that's why I got this award.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yes, thank you so much. And then chapter 5 is Black and White. It's kind of perspective of how adversity can make the small thing maybe brighter than the other.
Absolutely right.
Yes, and then chapter 6 is Hope and the Message. Hope and the Meaning of Happiness. So
Okay.
it's just perspective. And then chapter 7 is My Message, which is my favorite chapter because I broke it down, the message to the victim.
Wow.
And to the perpetrator, which is my father, unfortunately.
yeah.
And then, but in general, the perpetrator. And then to the family and friends around the victim. So
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
3 messages there.
Okay.
And then the epilogue is Lesson from Lion.
Have you ever counseled anybody through this? Have you, you know what I mean, counsel people? Do you counsel, like do social work?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, like, well, you know what I mean, like talk to people that have been through this and try to guide them through it.
No, but you know what, Harrison? This year, I actually started a show called A Gift from Adversity, and then
Okay.
it's a social media platform where I go on YouTube and then Facebook Live, and it'll go Anchor and then Spotify, the audio part, the podcast. So I started it. It was my manifestation and goal to have my own show called A Gift from Adversity,
Okay.
where people talk about the adversity and tools and then the gift that came from it. I just recorded episode 26, starting from January 2022, this year.
Yep.
And I have almost 50 guests booked already until like May.
So that's a podcast you're doing.
Yes, but
Okay.
it goes to Facebook and then YouTube Live as well. So it's video/audio. But I have guests from Spain, Denmark, Germany, and all over United States. I have guests from all over willing to share the adversity.
Okay, so you basically counsel people on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm not sure counsel, but actually, it's been very interesting process because a lot of us are victim of child sex abuse or domestic violence.
Right.
We use different modalities, but I wanted to feature not only the adversity and then just whining and then victimizing ourselves.
Yeah.
But I wanted to empower people through sharing the tools, and then every guest has different tools that they've used.
Okay.
So it's been very interesting, and then a gift that came from it. So that's been very powerful.
That's awesome. Okay, you're a very inspirational person, without a doubt.
Thank you. And I am actually producing several films. I produced 8 films so far, and I
Okay.
won 3 awards.
Awesome. Well, talk about the films. Was that any of them in the demo reel we just watched? But you were in those films.
No,
Okay,
those are-
all right, let's talk about the films that you're producing. Let's talk about those. Tell
Sure.
me about them.
So the demo reel that I played, it was like my acting, but
Right.
the producer-wise, you can actually watch Sweet Wind, written by Paul Kandarian.
Okay.
And it's on Reveal, Reveel.
Yep.
So you can just Google my name, Juri Love, that might come up, or Sweet Wind.
Okay.
And or you can go to IMDb and then type Juri Love and you can see. And then I produced, that was a short film. And then we won Jersey Shore Film Festival, the
Okay.
best family drama last year.
Where was that whereabouts was the film festival?
Jersey, in New Jersey.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
cool, okay.
So I went all the
You
way
went to
there
New Jersey,
to
okay, great.
receive the award. And then I did Boston 48-hour film project
Okay.
to make a film in 48 hours twice.
Oh, I
And
know that. I've heard of that. That's incredible.
I received award twice, and it was given by Women in Video Film New England.
Okay.
It's a nonprofit to support women creatives.
Yeah.
Now, first year I got team award, and last year I got grand prize as outstanding female producer.
Wow.
And I also produced feature film called Go Chase Yourself, which is available on Amazon.
Okay.
And now I'm working
Sounds like a
on-
silly title, but I assume it's serious, right?
It's a thriller.
Oh, a thriller. Go chase
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, it's
okay. So
kinda-
it's not really. That's got nothing to do with abuse. That's just fictional. Did you write the script?
No.
Okay.
Patrick Jerome. Patrick Jerome is executive
I know
director.
Patrick Jerome.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but anyways, I was producer for that, and then also Sweet Wind, I was a composer. So I composed 3 songs in there, and I sang also.
For music.
Yes.
Great. Well, that's amazing.
And then this year, I am already producing a couple of movies, and then it works. And then one is called The Trunk,
Okay.
and it's gonna shoot in April and May. And then I have several other projects that's lining up.
Okay.
So it's very exciting. And I'm doing another 48-hour film project in May.
That's awesome. Okay. You really just turn these all one after another, right? You do it
Yeah.
rapid fire.
And I also volunteer at the Foxborough Cable Access. I brought this award.
Hold up to the camera.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a Foxborough Cable Access Award.
Okay.
That trophy that I received, Volunteer of the Year Award. So
Cool.
my name is on the plaque at the Foxborough Cable Access when you enter. So I'm actually producing 4 TV shows over there, and then I'm assistant producer for one of the talk show and a co-host.
Okay.
So it's been very exciting. One of the show that I'm producing is called What's Up?
Okay.
And then it's Foxborough Youth Production that I started.
Okay.
And all the youth are doing TV, so editing, and a camera, and director, and a reporter. So we go out to the community. I actually have an event tomorrow that I have 3 cameras reserved, and the youth are coming to interview.
Okay.
So basically, all the youth, they don't have much opportunity in the media, so I wanted to create the opportunity.
Okay.
So I had maybe 40 families at one point that we are going to a different field, because I'm a journalist for the Sun Chronicle.
That's right.
and
You're a
the
journalist
Foxborough
too. What do you write
Reporter.
for?
The Sun Chronicle and then Foxborough Reporter.
Oh, I know. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I know some people. I know. You know Mark Farinelli? He's a sports writer at the Sun Chronicle. He may still be there he's been there for like over 40 years if he's still there. What do you write? So what do you write about? What type of journalist are you? Just a reporter?
So I'm a feature correspondent.
Right. But what kind of features?
So basically, anything in town. My recent work was about Ukraine, the
Yeah,
war.
of course.
And then I just interviewed local people who
Okay.
are from Russia and Ukraine,
Yeah.
and some other perspectives. And just any articles. Last time I covered about Boyden Library, local libraries like exhibit about women, her story. But I've written like 400 articles so far, and
That's awesome.
I do photography as well.
You're a busy lady.
Yes.
Well, guess what? We're under 5 minutes now.
Yes.
We're just about done with the show. We're done with the final 5 minutes. I hope we covered as much as we could cover about you. I hope you had fun.
Yes, thank you so much, Harrison.
Now, what I want you to do is to look at the camera now, and I want you to give shouts out to people. They're going to see the show. You can start with your kids. I know how much they mean to you. They're awesome. I've seen pictures of them. They're precious. And then talk, and then some friends or whatever, any of the people. Just condense the shouts out, and then we'll wrap the show up with my music as we began it.
Great. So first of all, my son Jaden, you are amazing. I love you. And Jayla, you are so pretty. And then I love you so much. And all of my friends, my close friends, who have been very supportive of me. And then I'm a single mom. I forgot to tell.
Okay, you're a single mom. Got it. Okay.
And single mom has been very, very difficult. But all my friends been so supportive, and then pitching in to help my children. So I cannot have my success without them. And all my close friends who came to help me in my life and then be there for me when I need. I just hope they know that I love them so much. And then all the support and opportunities, I really appreciate all the people who trust me and then giving me these opportunities after opportunities. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Harrison, for having me on your show.
Thank you for finally making it happen for us. You're incredible. You're an inspiration, and you were a wonderful guest. I was worried we wouldn't be able to cover everything, but we made it happen. All right, now, if you had a good time with me, what I'd like you to do is tell people about the show, get me guests through word of mouth. I get a lot of them that way now. Have them text me. You got my digits, obviously. Anybody with an interesting story, whatever, a performer, or just anybody, just somebody that that's got an interesting tale to tell. Everybody is interesting to some degree, and I'll have them on the show, either here at one of my other great locations.
Great, thank you.
And now, before we wrap the show up, is there anything coming up that you might have overlooked that you want to mention that's in the next few weeks or months? If not, then we'll just wrap it up with my music.
Well, you can Google my name, Juri Love, and I'm on Facebook, Juri Love, and Instagram.
Okay.
Juri Love, and then Instagram is @JuriPanda, JuriPanda.
Okay.
And I'm actually working as a stunt. I want to do stunt work, so I'm doing karate, parkour, and then I'm actually having sparring tournament.
You're going to be doing stunts, you said?
I want to do stunt work a lot.
Okay.
So I'm actually training myself with the karate. After I did Shang-Chi in Hollywood, and I saw this, Simlu and then Menger, all these like action Asian stars, and Michelle Yao, obviously. And I got so inspired. I'm like, I want to be like them. So I started training the karate since August. I'm orange belt now, but I really want to aim for black belt someday.
You're a lot tougher than me, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so I've been training. I did Spartan race in Fenway last November.
Wow.
With my 5K, 22 obstacles. So, and I'm doing sparring.
You're in great shape, I can see that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am strong.
You take care of yourself. Well, you did a great job with me.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for being such a wonderful guest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. Thank you, too, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.